Top five matchup on the docket, and I know it's the next game, it's the first game, but there's just a whole lot of things going on this week.
Yeah, I mean that's we've talked to our players about putting all that stuff on hold, and it's a big game because it's the next game. I know that's coach talk, but it's a lot of people make it a big matchup first off because they're ranked number one, we're ranked number four. I think that's where we want to be. I mean I think it's definitely something that I know that our fans will like and all that, but it doesn't matter. You still got to go play the game of football, and our guys will be ready to play. And this is where we want to be. We like to play in these type of big games, but at the end of the day, I think we played in a lot of these big games. So for us, it's not really any different the way it's been the last 2 or 3 years, to be quite honest with you.
The fact that it is Northwest, a team that you guys have still struggled with even during your successful times, does that raise the level of urgency you feel like amongst your guys?
I don't know if it's not raised the level of urgency because, it's been an urgency problem here since 1994, which was the last time Emporia State, I think, beat Northwest Missouri. A lot of guys on my team, I don't even know if they were born yet, some of them, so no urgency here. We understand. We're to the point with our football program. Every game's important. We understand how difficult the MIAA is. Last year we had a great year last year, and reeled off 11 straight after we really got taken to the woodshed the first game. After our drive, they totally dominated the game, and I didn't know where we were at. To be quite honest with you, I didn't know that Northwest was going to be as dominant as they were. And I didn't know that we were still going to be I felt like one of the top programs in the country.
A lot of talk has been about the fact that they lost their head coach, but you talk, well, he doesn't make plays. Well, they're switching. They have a new quarterback this year.
Uh-huh.
Some of those defensive guys that made it so impossible to ban some of those guys have kind of faces have changed there too. How do you guys approach that? Seeing those kind of changes in their roster.
Well, I think the thing about it is, I think you always adapt your identity and what your system is to your players. So I don't foresee any wholesale changes. Do I see things like, last year when I broke in Braxton as a starting quarterback? Well, some of the things we did offensively, our playbook was not as open as it had been with Brent. So there were changes there, but we never got away from who we were as an offense. Just like I don't think they're going to get away from who they are or what their base defense is. Now, those guys they had last year were pretty good where they could just rush four and get to the quarterback and have one linebacker and basically have a five-man box and dominate teams. Now, I don't know if they'll be able to do that, but they'll still be a 4-3 team. They might bring more pressures than they've brought before. Those are things that you look at that you definitely want to make sure that you're prepared for. Just like offensively, their offensive coordinator's the same as they had last year. I'm sure they're going to make sure that their quarterback, whoever starts that game, is going to go into that game and feel comfortable and be able to get off to a comfortable start.
So is a week of preparation then, is it more about just making sure you guys are where you want to be rather than worrying about who you're playing?
Well, I think you always worry about who you're playing, and you watch film and you prepare and you look at the things. For us, we've got a lot of games to look at the last 2 years to kind of see the mistakes that were made, and also be able to see some times where we had an opportunity to make some plays, or we did make some plays that our guys are able to see that. But at the second part of that is, we also want to worry about ourselves and making sure that we're executing our game plan at a high level and we're focused in each and every day when we go out to practice. We're at that point right now that, and I think our guys have been practicing well, but we're just been at this thing now for almost, 3 weeks and just we're ready to go play a game. I don't know how much improvement we're going to have from now until we go play that game. And then once we play that game, then we'll kind of see where we're at and kind of go from there.
Marcus, just a really big matchup for you guys this weekend. What are your thoughts going into the fact that you get to be a part of a top 5 matchup in the country?
It's just an awesome feeling going up there, starting off our season, kicking it off this Thursday night. We got a great opponent. We've been preparing for weeks, and so really it's just getting down to time for kickoff here, and we're ready to go.
How anxious are you guys? Just ready to see anybody in a different uniform? You guys beat up on each other for about a month now, and just ready to see a different color and some different faces.
Right, during camp, we go against each other. It's the same dudes every day, battling head to head. So we're all ready to just kick off the season, start facing a real opponent here, getting into game weeks, and not beating up on each other and beating up on another team maybe instead.
Do you feel like it elevates the urgency at all? Raises your level of intensity? The fact that you guys are going against a team that, in spite of all the success of this program the last couple of years, they still seem to have your number.
It's just another week. It's our first week though, so we're more focused than ever. We have to be. We got to be prepared for this game. We've been preparing for these 2 weeks of camp, and even before that, really. But we're just excited to get going and get up there.
From the defensive aspect, they switched. They have a quarterback change as well. I don't know how much you've gotten a chance to look at him or see much about him. What's your assessment of the offense that they're going to bring at you?
They're going to throw a lot of stuff at us. They have a lot of talented players. They're a really good team, so we know what they're going to bring to the table against us. It's all about us just getting prepared and executing what our coaches have taught us so far. We're ready to go up there and play.
Braxton, first of all, just how excited are you? You get a chance to participate in a top 5 matchup here in week 1.
Yeah, I'm excited. First game of the season, it's a top 5 matchup, but we just look at it like it's another game.
Coming in, obviously Northwest a tough opponent. You got to see them twice last year. Yes, some things have changed, but do you feel like that experience will help you out even more as you have to hit the ground running against them this year?
Oh yeah, they're always going to be a tough opponent, and seeing them twice last year, that could give us the edge, I guess. But I'm just ready to take that next step and get over that hump.
How much more comfortable are you just entering the season this year as opposed to last year when you were still you had a grasp, but you were still learning? How much more comfortable are you with the way things are set up heading into this season?
I'm a lot more comfortable, I'd say, than I was last year. I was pretty nervous starting off with the defending national championship, and I really hadn't played much except for my true freshman year, and then this year I have a whole season under my belt, so I feel a lot different.
What have you guys seen on film is there anything that stood out to you about Northwest that you're hoping to maybe take advantage? Obviously, they've lost some of their premier defenders. I'm sure they have some guys that can step in, but is there anything that you've just seen that just stands out to you that you're looking forward to get an opportunity to try out?
They're pretty good. Watching on film, you just see how good they are, but they have their mistakes as we do, but we have to capitalize on those and make some plays.
The fact that you guys returned so many starters this year on offense, especially, yes, you lose Mitch Foote, but you have a ton of guys that played a bunch with you. Do you feel like that makes your job even easier as well, the fact that you have that many guys who have been in the same kind of battle situation with you?
Honestly, my job's pretty easy with the guys we got out there. They make it a lot easier. The spectacular catches they make, running the ball, catching the ball, and especially the O-line, they don't get enough credit for what they do, and we got some returning guys up there.
What did you learn playing these guys twice last year to help you get into this year?
You learn that they're really good, and you're going to have to play your best to beat them.